Morning, YouTube. We're out here. I wanted to talk about the next job. The next job. If you're in the industry, the welding industry, you're starting off, or if you've been in it, you just need you're at that point. I got to a point when I started. It was me. It was a truck. I got to a point. I knew I needed some help with some of the projects, so I hired a helper. One mistake, I reached above. I thought I could afford more than I could. Overextended myself as far as the pay for that. Now, good for them, and they're deserving. I think they're deserving. But as far as the business plan, it just wasn't. It didn't work out. So I had to get to a point of, I guess, not total failure, but just a learning point, and I had to regroup. I had to reboot, right? I had to, hey, let's go back to the drawing board and figure this out, because this isn't working. I was grinding every week. It was like every week I was hustling. Ultimately, felt like I was hustling to pay a check, to pay my helper's check at the end of the week. So that didn't work out. So what happens is, and what happened in my case, and you might be dealing with it now, and if you haven't started yet, if you intend on being self-employed, independent, starting your own business, however you want to title it, you need to look at this and say, okay, well, how am I going to get my work? How am I going to generate leads to get work? Because for any business to succeed, you got to have work. You got to have work. And then not just have it, but it's got to be timely. It's got to be continuous in order to pay the bills, in order to do what needs to be done. So I remember I was hanging off of a job we're building. We're building an enclosure for a smoker, for a barbecue company, and a realization of, man, the phone's ringing. Well, we're about to finish up this job, and that's it. I don't have anything lined up after this. So, oh man, well, those bills still got to get paid regardless. One thing about it, if you get into the full scale of the business, is payroll don't stop. You can kind of get away from other things, but payroll does not stop. So what happened is like a storm coming out. Sorry, buddy. What happened was I came to a realization that when I finished that job, there was a lull because I had put the time in to find the next job, and that put us in a bind, because now for the next week I'm trying to find the next job. But you know how the industry runs. If somebody's interested in a job, if you bid out a job, it doesn't mean it's going to happen right away. Like you're going to submit the job, the bid, they might like it, but that yes and that get started don't always happen simultaneously. So I just want to talk about planning ahead and putting the time in to get that next job, to have it lined up. Now that's part of the reason why a lot of companies, a lot of businesses fold, is because that is an effort. It takes an effort, because most of the time that you can talk to the people that need work or that have the work for you, it's during the business week. And ultimately, if you're on your own, that's when you're actually fulfilling work. So I just want to encourage you, want to get you to look at that and say, hey, it's possible, but you want to have an avenue to that. Spending money in advertisement, marketing, that type thing. Hey, if I spend $450 a month on an ad, but it generates calls from residents or from whoever uses those sites, and I get 2 jobs that month out of that, but I get a lot of calls, well, that's probably a wise investment, and it has been for myself, because I've been on the Yelp, I have been on those sites, and it generates calls. And for myself, now we're at a point to where we have some bigger jobs. Well, when we get on a bigger job, and I'll get into this, when you get on a more extensive, long-term job, well, you're not going to necessarily be on that site continuously for the duration. You're going to need to fulfill your obligation, but then there's going to be a downtime for another trade or another process, another stage, another phase before you get back in there to complete your job, complete that contract. So what are you going to do in between those times? So those filler jobs, those residential jobs, those are good things to have, and to have opportunity to do those and have the phones ringing, so you can have something to fill in between those lulls in a current job. So it's just a taste. I went a little long. We can get into that. Post a comment, post a question. If for the next topic you want to talk about starting in this business, starting in the welding business, welding industry, construction, welding fabrication, you're in a metal shop, whatever your goals, aspirations are, business is still the same, but it's a little different, and it's a little less transparent in this welding industry, in this welding world. So I'm here, and I want to offer that, and I want to share any insights into the rough things, the things I had to fumble through, and I'm still learning. So I just want to share those with you. Thanks for watching. Thanks for liking. Thanks for sharing. Thanks for subscribing. Hit that subscribe button and watch another video. KBG Welding, serving God and burning rods.